Yo, what up, Street Talks? There, Kim. All right, so some more turbo thoughts. All right, so the notion of solo entrepreneurship is quite interesting. So the gist is this: what if, you couldn't build a team? What if you could never get venture capital? What if you could never fundraise and stuff like that? What if you literally had to bootstrap your own self and your own company to get to where you want to become? So let's assume that's the question. Then what is one to do when one starts with ground zero? So we got to start with the end goal in mind and then work our way backwards. So the end goal, or the desired end outcome, is, let's say you want freedom and you want to do whatever you want in your life, right? So then the goal is very simple. Just pay your rent. Make enough money through, your business, your whatever, to pay rent. So let's say right now you have really expensive whatever, then it seems like the answer is very simple. It's like, just change your lifestyle to make your rent the cheapest thing possible and put yourself in a position where, yeah, quite literally, it's like, you just, your rent is uber cheap, right? And so even if you're living in a big ass city, it's okay, like live like a broke ass college student. Like, you remember back in the day, you used to share an apartment or a thing with like 10 quadrillion different peoples. And I think that's it's still kind of a wise idea. I think nowadays we adults were like, oh, but I don't want to live like a broke college student no more because I deserve this and that. I'm like, yo, that's what they call entitlement, right? So, allow yourself to be scrappy. And then the thing with entrepreneurship is that you just got to ask yourself, like, how bad do I want it? So if you really, 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 really care about your freedom, your life and stuff like that, then you won't let nothing get in your way. That means truly, 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 you're willing to sacrifice much in order to gain your freedom or to, start your thing, right? And so how does one bootstrap themselves? So my thought, to bootstrap yourself, very simple things you could do. Like the most important thing is start a website blog. It's the same thing. Bluehost.com, install WordPress.org. Don't do none of those Squarespaces or the stupid things, because you have no freedom and flexibility down the line. And yeah, once you build a website, I think people haven't quite understood the epic power of a website yet. Like, for example, with a website, it's like almost owning your own office building, except the space is infinite and it's free. It's like, yo, what kind of better bang for the buck is that? And then like you start your own website with your own .com, get a .com. It only costs you what, like $5 a month? I'm like, yo, who cannot afford that? If you have like a Spotify or an Amazon Prime or Netflix or some sort of streaming service price cost thing, I'm like, yo, you cannot not afford to have a website. It's kind of silly. Whoa, some pretty cool looking plants. But anyways, all right, so alright, so I'm just trolling y'all now. So alright, so to continue our walk and our thinking. So what it then seems then is, yeah, entrepreneurship is the answer, and to harness digital technologies to get to where you are, right? So like certainly when I started off, Facebook, Twitter, Flickr was hugely helpful to get to where I am today. But advice I wish I kind of gave myself is, okay, like I have like close to 100,000 followers on Facebook, but it don't really do nothing for me. Far more effective to start your own email newsletter. I mean, it could be super simple. Just start a Google form saying, enter your email here, and then use your Gmail account to send out, BCC, send out email updates to whoever's. I mean, that's super easy. Or just have a piece of paper, say, yo, can you write down your email address, and I could send you something. And I think that actually, to master business or marketing or entrepreneurship, essentially it's to understand human nature, right? So for example, let's say you want more people to sign up for your email newsletter, right? It's like, how can you incentivize people to do that? And it seems the best goal is to put them in a position where it actually benefit them, right? Like, offer a free ebook or a free something, right? So people typically like free in order to sign up and to get stuff. And I really do think that it's like, at least for myself too, when it comes to marketing, is look at what works good on you and then kind of try to imitate and mimic it, right? So like I'm totally a sucker for Apple and Tesla marketing, so I just kind of copy that and I imitate that for myself. Pretty easy and simple. And yeah, with entrepreneurship, I think the best way to get started is to just kind of work your way backwards, like to realize you really have nothing to lose and you have everything to gain. And especially during pandemic, COVID-19, stuck indoors all day kind of vibes where you can work from home. Dude, right now is the fucking ultimate time to start your own business because your boss ain't over your shoulder, like looking at what you're doing. I'm like, yo, if I still had my 9 to 5, yo, what's up, man? So if I still had my 9 to 5 job, I'm working at my old company, I'm like, yo, I'd be so overjoyed, we'll be happy around. I'm like, yo, I could just like work from home and just do the minimum amount of work necessary to not get fired. Yo, I'm gonna pursue all my business entrepreneurship things with the fullest zeal. So yeah, I think it is good to use difficulty and tragedy and tough times to your own personal benefit, where rather than bemoaning the fact of downsides X, Y, and Z, you rather think, oh, what are the upsides and how can I harness this in a meaningful way? And I know for myself, yeah, like one of the biggest benefits to growing up poor or underprivileged or whatever is the fact that you learn to be more scrappy and you learn to become a hustler, which means you don't depend on nobody else but yourself. And what is the benefit of depending on nobody else but yourself? Is that you essentially feel like you have more freedom, you have more control. Like, once again, I think if you spend your whole life thinking, oh, I need to get angel investors or other investors for me to start X, Y, and Z, you's never gonna really achieve the fullest maximum potential that you're capable of, because always in the back of your head you think that I don't have enough in order for me to do X, Y, and Z. So yeah, just realize that you have all the digital tools at your hands. So some practical thoughts. First, just do the thought experiment, or maybe even just like think into your head and think to yourself that I will never, no matter what, I'll never raise a single dime from nobody else in terms of funding. How can I still make my entrepreneurial goal a reality? That's the first thing. Second thing, what is literally the minimum income I need to just like survive, like not to die. So it could be as simple as like moving back into your mom's house, live in the basement. As long as you got a Wi-Fi connection, I'm sure you'll be able to start your own business. And also just think about, and then, you know, obviously if you don't want to move in with your moms again, you know, can you downsize your apartment? Can you move into a cheaper apartment? Can you just share a room? Can you sublet a place or do some sort of thing where, you know, you're in a situation where you have more freedom over that? So, you know, moving into a cheaper apartment, move into a cheaper neighborhood, who knows, maybe even move to a cheaper city. There's so many, you know, cheap places to live. Or, you know, yeah, so reduce the cost of your rent, preferably free. If not free, just super duper scrappy. So once again, we're thinking like scrappy college days is kind of the goal. And then also, I mean, and this is also the good thing about starting to be an entrepreneur during COVID, is that like you ain't got nothing to even waste your monies on, right? Like, what are you gonna spend your money on? Like going out, going to the bar? It's like, yo, nothing's open up anyways, which means you could essentially, you have no distractions, you have nothing expensive kind of holding you back. So yeah, so it just means that you're gonna have the ultimate focus, the supreme focus, and yeah, nothing's gonna hold you back. So it's I think actually it's quite cool. So realize that you have nothing holding you back, no distractions, no blah 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 blah, which means, yeah, you got all the tools and the powers in your own hands. So start your own website. Also, for me, at least personally, it's been hugely beneficial to start a YouTube channel. I mean, if you have a YouTube account or a Gmail, you essentially have a YouTube account. So just, you know, download the YouTube app to your phone. You can download to your iPad or just on your computer, just youtube.com/upload, and just start uploading videos, thoughts. You know, it seems like education is always going to be a ripe field for digital entrepreneurship. So that's how I essentially make my living. And yeah, my personal aspiration is to become a great educator, to become, you know, and education's always been something that I've been personally passionate about. So yeah, it seems like education is one of the most empowering things. I mean, even to document essentially means to teach. A doctor means a teacher. So I feel like teachers certainly haven't been given enough credit where it's due, because teachers are the ones who shape and move and mold individuals in society. And I can think about all the great teachers that I had to help me get to where I am today. So yeah, so when it comes to thinking about your teachers and everyone in between, yeah, maybe one of the best ways to become an entrepreneur or start your own company, yeah, get into education. And especially now, like I've experimented with this with pretty good success. You know, just teaching an online Zoom workshop, you know, charge X amount of money via, you know, PayPal or whatever, accept payments, and then send people a private link, and then use that opportunity to make monies, right? So yeah, that's essentially the easiest way to get started. And yeah, think about your skills, your talents, whatever, to sell your services and sell your products, sell your ideas and whatever. And then the goal is to make enough money to pay your rent. And that's pretty much it. And then if you want additional things, like you want to buy the Benz or whatever, I mean, that's a whole different story. But if your goal to start entrepreneurship is for freedom, like freedom with your time, your life, whatever, then all these other superfluous luxuries aren't really necessary.